Hello and welcome to Game and Gain. My name is Muzz and we're back with the final word, where I give my final impressions on a video game, on just my thoughts on the overall project as I've finished the game and I'm ready to kind of collect my thoughts and to give a final opinion on it. So Cyberpunk, it's one of the most divisive games to come out in recent memory, and the best way that I can describe Cyberpunk is it's like an old friend that you keep giving chance after chance to, but they keep letting you down. But the reason that you give them those chances is that you can see the good in them, and I'll get to that good in a little bit. But Cyberpunk was released on the PlayStation 4, which was the version I played, in a state of utter shambolic, ridiculous horribleness. It was one of the worst playing experiences I've ever had. The game was unplayable and it shouldn't have been released in that way. It's not a slight on the developers, it is on the upper management. If you've followed it, you know that they've apologised so many times for releasing it in this state, but it's not good enough. I know the PS5 and the PC had it running better, but they still even had issues as well. The game is still buggy. You get a bug every 10 to 15 minutes. Thankfully, they're just not as game breaking as they used to be. One of the early ones that really annoyed me was not being able to choose what line of dialogue I would pick, and that would then result in me actually dying in the game, which was very frustrating. I thought that was going to be my story progress halted because of that, but thankfully it fixed itself. The bugs are just always a constant in this game, and it is a shame. And I don't want to dwell on the bad too much, because I made 2 videos at this point talking about the bad. Cyberpunk shouldn't have been released in this state. It did not deserve to be released in this state, because there is a good game here. There is something in there that you can see has huge potential. And the first big point, probably the most important point that I want to talk about, is the writing of the game. It is fantastic. The writers, the story, the actual main story, is very enjoyable. It takes you on a very interesting journey. It's a story in a video game that I've not experienced, with having a character kind of attached to your character in this way, where it's life or death. The performances from the voice actors are very, very good. Again, the voice acting was something that I really picked up on the last couple of videos about being top notch, and it continues all the way through the game.
Luckily, they're all jacked into virtues. It'd be game over otherwise.
Right, wrong. Chicks will give you shit no matter what you do. This one's a real charmer, too.
Could have called off the guards, you know. Would have been quicker, simpler.
I don't have that kind of authority. Yet.
Why are there 3 guys? What's she playing
That's our
at?
target, Hiromi Sato.
You don't have authority yet? You sound damn sure of yourself.
Left no room for error. We're exactly where we need to be.
Some of the side missions are a notable highlight. Are Pan Am and Judy's missions. They have again some of the most interesting and best missions, where you try and take over a club, or you're helping Pan Am with her kind of family situation. And the game has moments like that with the side quests, where they really do impress me with the level of choice that you have. The combat didn't win me over to say that it's amazing combat. It became solid when I got some decent guns. I still think it's a bit iffy. You can have some fun with the quick hacking in it. You can really do some things, but not as much as I would have liked to. The overall feel of the game, the atmosphere that they've created is very unique and very detailed location in Night City to actually explore. The city itself feels dense, feels like it's lived in, feels like a, not necessarily a good place, but that's what they want you to think. That this place might not necessarily be the best place to live, but for a lot of people they call it home, and they are making the best of a bad situation, if you like, by being in Night City and being in the world that they live in at the moment. I know I wasn't going to talk about any of the bad stuff now, but the driving is awful. The driving just does not work. It functions as getting you from A to B, but it just feels awful to drive some of the cars in this. The motorbikes are hilariously broken. You can crash into vehicles and not fly off them, but that's just one of the things that came to my head there. So the driving is not very good. And yeah, the main story was very, very good, but there was bugs all the way up to the end of the game, and I will go back and I think play more of this game when it is in a much better state. And I think that's a testament to the work that has been done on this game. The fact that it was released in such a horrible mess, such a buggy, and it is still such a buggy mess, but the fact that I do intend to go actually back and play more of this game is impressive. And who knows, if it had been released in a state that was decent, good, it could have been up there with one of the best games. Maybe not one of the best. I certainly feel like the story wasn't as top notch as, say, The Last of Us 1 or anything like that, but for an open world RPG, it's certainly up there with the stories, maybe below the Red Dead stories in terms of its actual emotional feel, but it made me want to continue playing, which when you played that game is something that you really had to struggle with, whether you wanted to keep going, because you just get pulled out of the experience so much, and it was a real shame. So I'm not really sure if I have any much more to say on Cyberpunk. I admit this will be my third video now talking about it, so I think I have said all that needs to be said. If you have played it, let me know what you think. Do you have the same thoughts, or did you just check out when you saw all the bugs and glitches? Or if you're interested in playing it, has this video, kind of piqued your interest? I would recommend waiting until it's in a state that's better than it is now. I mean, it's playable, but you'll run into a bug or a glitch. It's maybe a minor one every 10 to 15 minutes, say. But it is a game that I eventually liked. Eventually, I had to work at it. It was a tough relationship to build with this game, but it won me over in the end, and I will go back and complete, maybe try and 100% it. I'm not sure. I don't do that a lot with games these days, but to be saying that about this game is a pretty impressive thing for it to be making me say. So that is my thoughts on Cyberpunk 2027. I think I can't really even remember the title. Anyway, what are your thoughts? Let me know down below. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, do all that good stuff. And any thoughts, comments, general hostile remarks, leave them below. Thank you very much. Bye bye.